They try to turn his love into a crime, but truth can't be handcuffed. Before I even begin this story, let me say this. What you're about to hear is not just a love story. It's a battle, a test of strength, and a fight against the chains of prejudice. If you've ever believed in love that defies the odds, hit that subscribe button right now and join us as we tell the untold struggles. The sun dipped behind the maple trees, painting the park in golden orange light. The smell of springtime blossoms carried through the air as children laughed near the fountain. Andre sat on the worn wooden bench, his notebook balanced carefully on his knee. His pen moved slowly, with precision, as if each word carved into the page carried his whole heart. He wasn't writing poetry for a class, or even for himself. He was writing for her, for Emily. Andre was a black man in his late 20s, tall, soft-spoken, with eyes that carried the weight of stories he never had the chance to tell. He worked 2 jobs, one at the library and another stocking shelves at night. But here in the park, he wasn't just surviving. He was creating. He was pouring himself into words. Words he believed could change a life. The love letter was simple, honest. It told Emily how she lit up every room, how her laughter carried him through days that would have otherwise drowned him. But as Andre wrote, he noticed them. The stares. An older woman, her lips pursed like she was sucking lemons. A jogger slowing down, staring as if he had caught Andre stealing instead of writing. And then there was her, Karen. She lived 2 blocks from the park and was infamous for always watching out for trouble. She wore suspicion like perfume, thick and impossible to ignore. She stopped in her tracks when she saw Andre, her eyes narrowing at the sight of the notebook in his hands. What's he doing? Writing? Who's he watching? Who's he plotting against? The way she looked at him, Andre could feel it. To her, his pen wasn't an instrument of love. It was a weapon. Emily arrived just as Karen's phone appeared in her hand. She waved cheerfully, blonde hair catching the light as she hurried toward Andre. Hey, babe. Sorry I'm late. Andre's face lit up, his pen pausing mid-sentence. He closed the notebook gently, like protecting something fragile. But Karen wasn't smiling. She stepped forward, pointing a finger like a judge passing sentence. What exactly are you doing here? Andre blinked. Excuse me. You heard me. Sitting on this bench, scribbling things down, watching people. It looked suspicious. Emily frowned, her arm slipping protectively through Andre's. He's writing me a letter. Do you have a problem with that? Karen's eyes widened in mock outrage. Don't you raise your voice at me, young lady. I know his type. Sitting there, making notes, pretending to be all innocent. I've seen enough news to know when something's wrong. Andres jaw clenched. He wanted to speak, but years of warnings from his mother echoed in his ears. Don't escalate. Don't give them a reason. But Emily wasn't bound by those chains. His type? Do you mean a black man with a notebook? Karen's lips curled into something between a sneer and a smirk. If the shoe fits. It was only then that Andre noticed the flashing of red and blue in the distance. Karen had already called them. The officers arrived like thunderclouds rolling into a clear sky. Sir, stand up. Hands where I can see them. Andre obeyed, standing slowly, the notebook falling to the ground with a soft thud. Emily stepped in front of him. He didn't do anything. He was writing. Ma'am, step aside. Karen folded her arms smugly, watching as if she had orchestrated a play and was enjoying every act. I told you. He was acting suspicious, writing things down, watching. One officer picked up the notebook, flipping through its pages. His brows furrowed, confused. This is just letters. Poetry. Emily's eyes blazed. That's what I've been telling you. He's writing me a love letter. But the other officer didn't loosen his grip on Andre's arm. We'll need to verify that. Andre wanted to shout, to demand justice, but he stood silent. Because in moments like this, silence wasn't cowardice, it was survival. Viewers, if you feel the weight of what's happening here, if you feel the injustice of a man's love being mistaken for a crime, pause for a moment, hit that subscribe button, and help us share these stories that too often go unheard. By now, a small crowd had gathered. Parents pulled their kids close, whispering nervously. Teenagers recorded on their phones, capturing every second. One older black man shook his head and muttered, "Same story. Different day." Emily raised her voice. "You're humiliating him. He hasn't broken a single law." Karen's voice sliced through the air. "If he's innocent, he has nothing to hide." Andre's chest burned. He wanted to tell Karen about the nights he stayed late at the library so neighborhood kids had a safe place to read. About the hours he spent working overtime to pay his mother's hospital bills. About how love, simple, honest love, was the only crime he was guilty of. But before he could speak, one officer snapped handcuffs around his wrists. The crowd gasped. Emily screamed. "And Karen?" Karen smiled. The cell was cold, the kind of cold that crept into your bones. Andre sat on the bench, staring at the concrete floor, his notebook confiscated, his words silenced. Time moved differently behind bars. Minutes felt like hours. Hours felt like days. He replayed every moment in his head. The pen, the letter, the way Emily's hand had tightened around his arm, the way Karen had looked at him like he was nothing more than a threat. Emily visited. Her voice shook as she spoke to him through the glass. "I'm fighting this. I'm not letting them win." Andre wanted to tell her it would be okay, but deep down, he knew. The system wasn't designed for people like him. 2 days later, Emily burst into the courtroom, holding something in her hands. The notebook. She had fought to get it released as evidence, and now she held it high for the judge to see. These aren't threats. These aren't suspicious notes. These are love letters. To me. Read them. The courtroom fell silent. The judge flipped through the pages, his eyes softening as he read. Words of love, of hope, of dreams written in ink. And then the twist. Karen stood up in the back of the courtroom, shouting, "He forged those. He's dangerous." But this time, the crowd wasn't on her side. They turned on her, whispers rising like wildfire. She lied. She wanted him arrested for nothing. All because of his skin. The judge looked up, his voice heavy. "We will recess. There is more to unpack here than a simple charge." Andre's eyes locked with Emily's. He was free, for now. But something told him this battle was far from over. To be continued. Family, you've walked with Andre through humiliation, injustice, and survival. But this isn't the end. If you believe his story needs to be heard, if you believe no one should be silenced for who they are, hit like, drop a comment, share this story, and make sure you're subscribed to the Untold Struggles. Because part 2 will shake you even more.